Hello, everyone. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are watching God, Sex, and Love. Tonight, one of my brothers in Christ, we're going to get together and have a serious conversation about a controversial topic. It is the topic of abortion. We understand that this is a heavy subject. So, we want to do our best to be good representations of Christ as we have this conversation, and hopefully, give everyone something to think about this evening. So if you're ready to dive into this conversation, then stay tuned. Welcome back to God, Sex, and Love. I have with me Mr. Ryshawn Cousar. How you doing, Ryshawn?
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I guess first, thank you so much for being brave enough to tackle this serious, controversial subject tonight. I appreciate you, and your time joining me tonight for this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I'm glad to be here and glad to have this dialogue.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely was hoping to get a good group of people, both men and women, to talk about this today. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you being here because I feel like the male voice is important in this conversation. But from what I'm observing, the male voice is being suppressed and pretty much told that you guys should have no opinion about this.
Mm-hmm.
But, I feel like you guys, obviously you all have opinions. So you're going to have opinions about everything. But in particular, when it comes to this subject, I'm interested to hear your point of view, I guess, in particular, since you are the one who joined me for the conversation today. But, I guess in some way you're representing Christian men. So I'm sure you can give your personal perspective or perspective of many, however you want to, approach the conversation.
Yeah.
You're welcome and free to do that here. So thank you again.
For sure. So you want me to go ahead and share now, like my perspective?
Sure. I guess there's no easy way to jump into this one. Again, abortion is a heavy topic, and I understand that. But again, I felt like it was an important one to have.
Yeah.
And so, I commend you. I commend you for taking the time out tonight to approach this heavy topic. So thank you.
For sure. Well, first I want to bring up a word that I think our culture needs to practice, and that's empathy. That's trying to understand both sides. And I think when we try to understand both sides, we may not agree, but we can at least understand. And so what I'll try to do is I'll try to just explain the Christian side, or the Christian man's point of view. So that'd be my stance, just explaining, not trying to convince anybody, but more so just explaining why I believe what I believe and why I believe this is a mainline Christian's view. So for just I've been following Jesus for 11, 12 years or something like that. And so coming into Christ, I remember, I aborted my first child, right? And I remember sharing that with my mom, who at that time was a pastor, and she was my spiritual leader. And I remember, her being broken about it. And, just, she was asking me, she was telling me to go to the Lord and, to repent of it. And not in a, you need to repent type of thing, but more so just grace. She was gracious about it, right? Because I already came to the Lord. And so that was kind of like my first view of, or one of my first views of abortion as a Christian is, okay, yeah, I partook in murder. So that's been like my view, is that there's a child in there, and no matter how small, that's a child, and it's murder. I believe it's murder, and I believe a lot of Christians believe that's a child and it's murder. If you were to abort a child, and why I believe that Christians believe this way is because of the Word of God. Because if you go in the Old Testament, if you go to the 10 Commandments, one of the commandments is is it thou shalt not murder? One of the commandments.
Wasn't it thou shalt not kill?
Thou shalt not kill. Yeah, thou shalt not kill. Yeah. One of them commandments. Because we're created in the image of God, and life is very valuable. It seems in the eyes of God, life is very valuable, right? Mm-hmm. And so we get our perspective from the Word of God. So if God says that you're created in my image, I formed you, he was saying to, is it Isaiah or Jeremiah? I formed you in the womb. We're like, okay, God is involved throughout the whole process, no matter how small the child is. So the Christian would say there's life in there, and if you were to abort it, it's murder. So that's the Christian's view, and my view as well.
I agree that is the consensus of a Christian. I believe if someone that is actually reading the Bible and follows the Bible, I believe they would say the same thing. However, I've also encountered Christians that believe that it's circumstantial, or should be like a circumstantial thing, or that's just a private choice of the woman in particular, and doesn't include the opinion of the man. Things like that is what I'm seeing, different responses, as well as what I've heard people say. In regards to, of course, my personal belief is, agreeing with you. However, again, I understand that my point of view of the situation would be a little bit, how can I say? Not saying just one-sided, but obviously I haven't been in the situation. So, I guess to a certain extent, maybe somebody would take my point of view as like I'm being, I guess, one-sided about it, and I'm not being considerate of other situations, and I am. But I guess, I guess knowing how I was conceived, like knowing even my father's situation, like I won't get so deep into like how my father was conceived, but knowing that my father passed before I was born, and so him and my mother was only married for about a year or so, and then months into her pregnancy with me, he passed. And so she could have made a decision to. Now, obviously, I know she wouldn't have done that, but she could have. You know what I'm saying? Been like, I can't handle this. I can't be a single mom, and we wouldn't be having no conversation right now. And then also too, now as a mom and going through the process of pregnancy and everything like that for the first time, with my son that I have now, I guess you hear so much negativity about pregnancy, and you hear so much negativity about having a child, that it takes the experience, one, and then when you go, like, honestly, one thing that shocked me, which it shouldn't have, because I recall seeing things in textbooks and health books and stuff like that about the babies and, with fetuses and everything like that, the growth stages and all that. But, you hear that it's just a clump of cells. You hear all these different phrases in regards to a baby. So when the first time I saw a sonogram, I think I was like maybe 8 weeks, between 6 and 8. And I wasn't expecting to see what I saw, which was just a tiny, tiny baby, and he was just spinning around. I didn't know he was a he at the time, but just spinning around. I saw literally a tiny baby spinning around, and I was expecting to just see like some blobs or something. You know what I mean? Like not see a formed baby, because that's how people talk about it. They say clump of cells, and you don't think baby, you think 3 balls together or something, you know what I mean? Like
more of you don't see value, you just see
like
more like
like not developed or whatever. And so and I actually got a chance to go to a I don't know if we're gonna put footage in. I could, because I did get some footage that day, but I actually went to the doctor. I don't want to cry about it, but I went to the doctor, and they just happened to show me like these little models of what the baby looked like at what stage, and it like literally fit in my hand, like probably like this big, but it was tiny baby, like you see everything, head, all the things. They were like the last thing that developed is the fingernails, they told me, but just tiny baby that fit in my hand this small, and I'm like, wow, and my hand is small, like you know me, I'm small, I'm tiny. So, and then I'm seeing something tinier than me in my hand, just a baby though, like a little tiny baby model or figurine or whatever. And I mean, I guess that puts things into perspective when you see it, or when you're carrying life and everything like that. At least it did for me. But even before then, I just feel like I get that there are situations, I get the whole, conversation about rape and everything like that. I totally understand. And I am empathetic to that, like you said. I just think when this conversation comes up, people focus so much on that, which is a small percentage of the situation, of the actual issue. So I think that kind of bothers me about it, because I'm like, if you're gonna have the conversation, be for real, be truthful, be honest. Like, don't talk about 1% or something that barely happens. Talk about like the real issue. You know what I mean? No judgment now. This is God Say Some Love, no judgment. But it's like premarital sex is the issue. Unprotected sex is the issue, and I just feel like there's so many things that can be done before that should become an option, that it's like, but nobody wants to address it really. Nobody wants to talk about that. People just want to talk about, oh, well, like there's no other option but that, like that's, that should be fine. That option should be fine. But it's like, well, what about all the choices that led up to you becoming pregnant? Because, and it's not just the woman or not just the man and everything like that. Of course, it's the two coming together, because that's one of the main results of sex. If we're honest, about the situation. And, so, but then I heard someone basically tell me like, oh, what about the teens, because they're out here having sex? Well, why are they having sex? Where are their parents? Like, what about, you know what I mean? Like, no one's asking the real questions. I think that's what frustrates me about the conversations. Like, nobody's talking about the real issues or the real questions. We're just say, oh, well, what about rape? Or what about the it happens. I'm not saying that it don't, but like the stuff that's like really, I think you get what I'm saying. And I don't want to, I don't want to be over and over again saying the same thing, but that's my only issue when it comes to this conversation. And so I did want to approach it in a real way. I wanted to be open and honest about what I feel the real issues are. And So what you think about all of that? I know I just spilled a whole lot.
You did. Hey, it's all good. And I feel you. I know for me, I was 18, 19 when I got my girlfriend pregnant. and I was a boy, you know. No, I was 18 because I got saved at 18. So I was early 18 or late 17, one of the two. But yeah, just out having sex, not really thinking about the consequences, just chasing my lust, right? Yeah, so that was the situation. I didn't rape her, you know. And when I found out that she was pregnant, I definitely was like, oh no, you know. But she called me one day and said that she either had the abortion or she's going to get an abortion. And I was excited on the inside. I was very excited. But we didn't discuss this at all. Like, she discussed this with her older sister. So her older sister took her to get an abortion. So she didn't ask for my input or anything. So I think that is, I don't know the numbers, but I think if we were to be honest, that's what's mainly going on, is people are chasing lust, and you know, they're willingly having sex, and that's the consequence. That's one of the purpose of sex, is a child. That's what God created sex to, bloop, you know. And so but we also have to understand, like, people aren't, like, I wasn't converted, like, I was spiritually dead, right? Like, so it's like I can have this conversation with another believer. I don't know, I haven't really had a conversation with a non-believer about them thinking that's not a child in there. Like, so I don't really understand. I do and I don't, because like I said, I had an abortion, but like now as a Christian, I just don't know. I don't really expect them to believe like I believe, right? Because I serve God, at least I'm trying to, and they serve their desires, right? And so I think I don't think we'll ever come to like a total agreement on this topic because of spirituality, you know. But like, going back to, like, I know we was talking earlier about, like, should the man's voice be silenced in this? And I don't think so. And it is situational, right? Like, I can speak generally, but like, generally speaking, I think the man should have some kind of say, because that's his seed, you know, that comes from him. But say, like, if it's rape or something like that, then that's tough, you know. That's tough. I don't know. I really don't know. I would like to hear different perspectives on that, but I don't know. Me personally, like, oh yeah, you were saying how, you know, when a woman is pregnant, you know, she should weigh out her options, right? That's something you shared, right? Something about there should be different options.
No, well, in regards to options, I feel like there's so many options before you become pregnant. Like, things, like, people say so many times that, oh, it's my body, my choice. But at that point, it's not your body, it's the baby's body at that point that you're removing. So when it was just your body, you had a lot of choices. In my opinion, you know, and it's like you're not making any of those choices. And then now you've come to the point where you're pregnant and you think that abortion is the only choice. And it's like, you know, well, one, that still isn't the only choice in that matter. I mean, you know, one. And then two, I mean, again, I understand that, you know, people in that situation, it's a tough decision. You I do understand that, so I'm not trying to make light of it or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure that anybody that has had to make that decision, well, from what I hear, most regret it, and things like that. But I just feel like there's so many choices before you become pregnant. You had the choice not to do it. You had the choice to use protection. You had the choice, you had the choice to get sterilized. That's something that you can do for your body. If you're at the point where you're like, I know I don't want to have no kids, because I've heard people say that. Oh, me and my girl don't want to have no kids. Well, but you want to do everything that creates the kids. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I don't. Again, we shouldn't be doing it.
So you saying that's just, it's unfair because your preparation sucks, basically. Like, if you don't want a child, then you should prevent that at all costs. That's what you're saying. Before
a child becomes involved, because then at that point, because everybody's talking about how it's their choice. Everybody's talking about it's my body. Well, do something for your body then.
Yeah. So you don't. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to have kids, then just do what you got to do for your body to not have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an option, but see, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's real. Like,
that's good, and I've never thought of that. That's why I think like conversations like these need to happen, because like you need to hear different ideas, and also like when I was talking about the option thing, like that. Like before sex, if you don't want to have a child, definitely do what you got to do not to have that child. Whether it's if you're in Christ, and I'm talking to the Christian, if you don't want to have, say like I'm talking to the single Christian, there's something you don't want to do, get you some accountability partners. Find out what you can run to whenever you're put in that situation. Like definitely, and don't be alone with the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I said, accountability partner. I guess accountability partner definitely will cover a lot. But and I was gonna say like, so before sex, you need to weigh out your options, but say like if you were to get pregnant, there also need to be options out there, not just abortion and that's it. Like that's what I was kind of like getting at.
Yeah, I believe that there are options. I mean, of course it's like adoption and everything like that, but it just comes down to people if you just don't want to carry the child. And it's like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, because at the end of the day, I mean, the number one thing you can do is not have sex. Like, I know it's hard, don't get me wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here acting like I'm perfect or nothing, But, sex leads to pregnancy. Like, that is like, that's what it does. So, I mean, that's the number one thing we can do. Wait, because then I just, like, I've seen a lot of debates. I've seen a lot of the back and forth online about it and stuff like that. One of the most recent things I saw was like someone was asking the men, in regards to like, I guess, sleeping around or having multiple kids. And then I saw one of the men respond in a way where it's like, well, why did she lay there and let him, in the most, vulgar way, create the baby? But how he said it. And it's like, but does she has control over his body in that aspect? And do at that moment, both of you all are just as equally involved in the situation, One question I want to ask you, I guess with that being said, is looking back on that now and knowing that you did not have a voice in that situation, like how do you feel?
I don't really have a feeling, because I know at that time I was happy about it. And so, but I wasn't Christian. Like, I was a boy. I didn't know, like, I was lost. So, but if I were a Christian, if I was like now as a Christian, I felt like yeah, I should have had a voice, and we should have kept the child, like for sure, because that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very selfish. Because I did that. You know, we did that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, me not having a voice, like that's my child, and you know, it's not fair. So yeah, I feel some type of way. If I really think about it, I didn't really think about it, but you know, yeah, I would feel some type of way, and praise God, I don't have to be in that situation again. But yeah, I think men should have some kind of voice. Like, I mean, I don't know how big of a voice. I don't know. Like I said, it depends on the situation. But you know, I think it's just fair, and if we, I just think it's fair to have that dialogue.
Well, with that being said, bro, like, I believe that there are some states that are starting to give men voices in that aspect. I think I read about Tennessee passing a law or getting ready to pass one. Of course, you're hearing that, you know, they don't want y'all to have no voice about it. You know, people, I guess, they're more focused on the aspect of like, oh, well, is he going to be is he going to raise the child then? Is he going to to carry it then if he wants, you know, and everything. And it's like, I don't know, like, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think I understand though, because man, it's a lot of deadbeat dads out here. You know, and that is very unfortunate, very sad. I believe the reason why our society is the way it is, especially in the Black community, is because of lack of fathers. So I can understand, I can sympathize or empathize, you know, try to understand that. But man, I'm talking to believers on this. We gotta trust in God, man. Like, we putting the situation or our doubts and fears over God. You know, like, it's been a lot of great men and women of God who came from single homes. You know, and man, God can use the child to bring you closer to God. Like, it could be a lot of glorious things that comes from it. So man, let's trust in God, man. I know I struggle with trusting in God. I know I can look at my circumstance and be like, but God, I don't know, God, you know, man, forget all that, man. Let's, man, fall to them knees, you know, and trust the one who, man, can get you over many mountains. You know what I'm saying? He's able, like he really is able. You know, I look at like my mom, you know, she was a single mom, and she raised 2 kids, you know, and we're in our right mind, we're doing well, and I actually, you know, got converted under her household, and so like, and now I'm making a difference in my family, in my community, and so so it's like, man, it's a lot of beauty can come out of these, I guess, doubtful situations. So I would just encourage that individual, if you're like struggling, like, man, this guy, he may not be, man, I would pray, I would trust God. God change his heart. God can change the heart of a king. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done it in history. He's changing many hearts today. So I would just be on my knees in prayer, and yeah, man, we gotta live with our consequences though. Like, you know, you lay it down on your back. You knew the kind of guy you were dealing with now. Like, you seen them red flags.
That's the thing, bro. Like, that is the thing, because it's like, you saying that, right? Like, people out here like, oh, the man is this, the man is that. Then why are you sleeping with this man? Like, why are you giving all of yourself in that way to this man. If you wouldn't want to have a baby by this man, then why are you doing all the things that could make a baby by this man? Like, I mean, but nobody wants to be real about the conversation. I think that's the thing that's like, again, that just annoys me about the whole thing. Like, man, okay, so everybody wants to fight for the right to, you fight for the right to have sex with whoever you want, fight for the right to X, Y, and Z, right? But all the consequences that come with that, nobody wants to own up to whatever the consequences, just get rid of their problem or whatever you feel. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's just so many things. And then don't get me, bro, like, how you feel about this? How you feel about this? Bro, there's life on Mars, right? They say that there's life on Mars, but they don't want to consider a child on Earth to be life, bro.
It's crazy. I mean, it's
what is considered to be life, bro? Because it's like, okay, so if some bacteria is found on Mars, y'all is like, life is up there, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But oh no, the fetus in the womb, oh no, that ain't life.
Yeah. That's it's very hypocritical. If somebody believes that life is on Mars, and also believes that that's not life in their stomach. Oh man, that's
the world we living in, bro.
Yeah. We live in a very hypocritical, highly hypocritical world. But I think it leads back to, man, Satan is the god of this world. He has blinders on those who are in darkness, because you will believe this kind of stuff. It's crazy. Like it doesn't really, make sense. A lot of this stuff that our culture calls good, and it's just like, no, that's not good, man. Like, and I could go on and on about like what our culture deems good and right and what's lawful. And be like, man, just like the whole equality thing, right? Like with like the trans people, right? I seen a story of a trans. Okay, I don't know how to word them, but a man, a person who was born man and changed into a woman, is fighting women in MMA. That's mixed martial arts. What's the name of the but yeah, basically fighting women and crack the skull of one of the women. And I'm like, okay, so we doing this in the name of equality, right? Or being fair. But it's that man fighting them women is not fair. It's not fair for the women. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're chasing equality, but somebody's gonna come up at the short end of the stick when because not everybody can be pleased. And so in the area of abortion or whatever it is, like at the end of the day, man, we want to do whatever we want to do as evil people. Like, and we will change the standards. We'll be protesting this one day while, man, behind closed doors, our life is protesting against our own protest. So it's just very, man, it's a spiritual issue, man. It's very sad. So yeah, I feel, sis, like I heard about that, people believe that there's life in Mars, and I never connected the two about abortion though. So it's like, it's just SMH. I just shake my head like, oh my goodness. I would love to have a conversation with a person who believes there's life in Mars and don't believe there's life in the stomach. Like, just to get their,
understand
their brain. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
I try to understand people too. Like, I mean, you hear all these different things, especially online, man. I wish more people had joined the conversation, because definitely would have wanted to hear more perspectives. Even if they don't agree, you know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. So, I mean, I guess now that we out here, y'all, if anybody wants to join the conversation, we'll do it again, right? You be down to do it again?
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to learn.
We'll do the conversation again if you bold enough to come chat with us about this, or whatever the case is. If you got a better perspective or a different perspective, or whatever the case is. But there was also something else I was going to talk to you about. Man, well, one, I follow my girl Angela Stanton King, and she's a hardcore advocate for pro-life and everything like that. You just gotta hear like how she talks about the situation, and like. And I guess trying to like share with, I guess in particular, the Black community, because it's like, ooh Lord, okay, fine. she'll not say attack the Black Lives Matter thing, but she'll basically put into perspective, like, okay, people are out here saying Black Lives Matter, but then they're killing the Black life that's in the womb. Like, Black life starts in the womb, like, trying to like get people to see that. You'll see people every time she'll post something about abortion or whatever, she'll get those people that are attacking what she's trying to say. But man, there was another point I was going to say to you, or something else I was going to try to ask you about. I forgot. I guess when I did that whole, hey, if anybody else wants to join us, I forgot what I was going to tell you. But well, I mean, again, I know that, I mean, I guess this is just the beginning of the conversation at this point, just because, I'm sure there's much more to say, and again, different perspectives that people can have about it. Again, just the free open space, no judgment on, no judgment on anybody who may have had to make that option or make that choice. I guess I just would say, just kind of, if before you get into the position, for anybody that's not in a position, and you're not there yet, then all I would say is just keep these things in mind. Like, for the longest time, I knew I wasn't ready for any consequences of sex, so I waited a long time. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to. I already knew about what the STDs and children and all that stuff was consequences of sex, and I was like, I'm not ready for none of that, and so I waited a long time. But I mean, I know I'm just one person and everything, but you have that option, is what I'm saying. But I know what I was gonna tell you now, bro. All right, this may be deep. I done told y'all. I done took the red pill. I done went down the rabbit hole. I done seen a whole lot of different things. I'm thinking, it's just me. Tell me what you think. I'm thinking the reason this thing is being pushed so much or so hard is because of this whole idea of population control. And I mean, and even deeper than that, when it comes to like the kids and the trafficking and all that stuff, I think that part of that is involved as well, from what I'm understanding of what they do with the body parts of the babies and whatnot. I don't know if you know about that part, but what do you think? I mean, what do you think?
You said population control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any thoughts on that really, because I guess I haven't heard an argument to kind of like be like, I mean, now that's possible for sure, right? Like, that definitely could be possible. I guess I would have to look up some of your sources, like, or resources of like, cause I don't know. I haven't really heard anything about like why or how that would benefit really.
Population control?
Yeah, population control. I mean, it makes sense though. Like, I know abortion, where I heard abortion, I haven't looked up the numbers myself, but like here in America, I know the Black population is down a percentage because of abortion. So that makes sense. Like, I know they're promoting, well, let me scratch that. But yeah, so I know the percentage is down because of abortion. So it seemed like it connects for sure. For sure.
You know, I mean, I guess I'll share some of the stuff. I mean, like I said, Angela's talking about it all the time. Angela Stanton King.
Angela Stanton King?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was for Congress at one point, well, in the last election, but you know, let's not talk about that.
Christian and politics.
Yeah. How many, what number we at now?
I don't know. But I think we're gonna be doing Christian and politics till Jesus come back. It's just getting crazy out here.
It is, ain't it? It is. Well, I mean, I don't know, y'all. It's just something to think about. It's something to keep in mind. And it's something, before we get into the situations, I just say that, like, hey, let's think about all your options before that life comes into play. Because, like, once the life is created, it's like, I mean, I just feel like God allowed it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, obviously he has a plan and purpose for all of us. And so who knows, out of all those, I don't know the numbers, but I know it's a high number. All of those that have been aborted over these past few years, or, you know, over the past years since it's been legal, whatever the case is, who was aborted? You know what I mean? Like, who did we abort? I just say we as humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know who those people were or could have been.
Yeah.
To us, you know. So that's one thing. And then, man, it was something that just crossed my mind just now. Oh well, if I remember, I remember. But yeah, it's just, you know, I just think, again, let's just focus on, before getting to the point where you need an abortion, understand that there are so many other options out there. And you know, the number one is just waiting. You know, like, who you choose, you know, your partner that you choose and everything like that. I mean, all of that stuff matters.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I look at my husband and son and I'm like, man, you know, see them interacting and stuff, and it's a beautiful thing to see. But, you know, I understand that people are in situations where maybe they look at, you know, whoever they created their child with, and, you know, maybe they don't feel that, you know. But it's like, I guess we got to think about the future. Like, when you're dealing with someone, or if you're meeting someone, before you even have sex with them, like, can you, like, this is a whole nother conversation, bro. Like, we can talk about dating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, you know, we need to be thinking about this stuff. Like, would you want to have a child by this person? You know, would you, like,
yeah.
Like, can you see yourself with this person? Like, because then if not, then what is the point?
Yeah, wasting time.
You know, like, yeah, what is the point? Why are you dealing with them? Why are you having sex with them? Like, and I get that it's lust. I do get that. And I guess sometimes people feel like sex is just, people just need to see that it's more, though. It's more to sex than just sex. Like, there's so many things. Like,
yeah, it's a very complex activity. It's just not feelings, like, and this stuff that sex, it will affect you for the rest of your life.
Come on.
It's kind of like handling fire. If you mishandle that thing, you're gonna get burnt. You know,
bro.
It's very complicated. And you're right, like, the person you're dating, do you see yourself, like, what is the purpose of you dating this individual? Is it, okay, eventually am I gonna marry this person? Or you just, yeah, we need to go on this thing with some intention, some goals, vision. And that's why, like, accountability, like, your community is important, because, like, who is in your ear? Or is just R&B in your ear? If just R&B is, if R&B is your community, oh yeah, you gonna lay up probably every night, because them songs gonna make you feel some type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you got some men, some brothers and sisters in Christ who gonna say, hey, bro, you need to lay low on that R&B for a season, and you need to go deeper in worship. You need to go deeper in prayer. And God is going to direct you and guide you through some of your decisions, because your feelings one day can be this way, like, oh man, I'm just so in love with this person, and man, and God like, nope, he's not the one. And so, and then you, if you do decide to just chase your lust, you're gonna lay with somebody that you got and have a child with. You gotta deal with this person who is a knucklehead for the next 18 years. And now you got dealing with child support and the drama and, you know, the back where this child gonna live and what, you know, and like that, you got to really think about all this stuff, you know, or before that, abortion. You got to think about that. Like, okay, like it's just so much. Like it's a big deal, and I think we should be definitely sharing this with our kids, and that's something that I try to practice in my home is, you know, having honest conversations and letting them know, like, man, don't go into dating just blindly, like, because your feelings will get in the way, and you will eventually lay down with this person, and he got you pregnant. Now you find out his true colors. He just a boy who all he wanted was your butt, and now he gone, and now you like, oh, should I abort this child? You know, so yeah, I'm with you on the whole. Why are you dating? What person are you dating? Do you want to have a child with this person? You know, so yeah, we got to have those conversations first.
So many, like I said, so many conversations to be had. Like, again, and it's not judgment. It's just like, you know where you are in life. Like, if you're not a Christian and you don't want to procreate and you just want to live your life and do whatever you want to do, then hey, you have a choice that you can make that's clearly just your body. Get sterilized, your partner, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then there you go, Now there's no baby to be aborted. But,
And the Christians are happy.
And the Christians are like, nah, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, like, but you don't want to do the things that you could do for just you or your body, you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And like, so that's my thing. It's like, just be real. Like, that's what I hate about it. Like, just instead of being real, we'll start, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or what about, and it's like, okay, but yeah, how many times do these things actually happen? Mm-hmm. Right? Not to say they don't, but okay, so is that happening to you? Because if that's not your situation, then why are we talking about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be real about what the situation was. You wanted to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, you got horny.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Let y'all get ready for that one. Get ready for that episode.
Yeah. But, that's real.
But yeah, we can go on and on, bro. Like, hopefully we'll be able to continue the conversation in a way where we can have more voices and to be heard and everything like that.
For sure.
I don't want to be long your time and everything, but I just want to say, is there anything else you want to add to this conversation before we?
Nah, I just sum it up and what we both said, before you, yeah. So I'm talking to the person now who's watching. If you don't want to abort a child or abort whatever you believe that's inside the stomach, think about who you're laying with. Of course, we're encouraging generally just to wait into marriage. Like, that's God's design. Just wait, court this person, get to know this person in a group setting so you can know, like, okay, know this person's character. Do you want to deal with this person for the rest of your life? Do you want to deal with this person with a child? Like, think about this stuff. Like, this is great advice. This is wisdom. So you won't not have to deal with going to somewhere and letting them stick something up to take. You don't want to go through all that. It could be very traumatic. It could be regretful. So I would just encourage the person, like, in your dating process, date wisely, set up accountability, date in group settings, and so you don't have to go down that path. But if you have aborted, God is a God who can forgive, He wants you to confess and to repent and to come to him. Like, he wants to carry your scars. So run to God. And for the Christians who are, very kind of like shove it down their throat, please be empathetic. Be a little bit graceful, because what if you was that person? You would want somebody to come alongside you, speak the truth in love, right? Like, so that needs to be our approach. Yeah, you are probably right in your zeal is there, but just understand that they probably didn't have the best direction. So yeah, that's what I would say to those three groups.
Man, he always come in and just drop the mic on stuff. He always like, look, I just stayed just to the end. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't have too much more to add on to that. Yeah, I guess I just would just keep in our minds that from what I'm understanding, from what I'm hearing in regards to research, a lot of people, or women in particular, that make that decision, they're living with that regret the rest of their lives. So whether you have the baby the rest of your life, or whether you live with that regret the rest of your life, either way, it affects you, So these are things, again, like, Ryshawn just gave so much good advice for across the board, for everybody. And again, if you're in a situation where you're dating and things like that, I would full-heartedly take that advice and just, try your best to get to know the people that you're dealing with. Because it matters. Mm-hmm. It matters that, it matters to you in your life, as well as, and possibly the child or unborn child, or, everything like that. And so, let's just take it all a little bit more seriously. Take life a little bit more seriously. I was thinking about something Angela King would say. She just would be like, at the end of the day, everybody that's making the decision about abortion hasn't been aborted. Like, we're all here to make it.
Exactly.
It's like, but they don't get that luxury to be here,
Yeah.
And then
that's
in
good.
regards to the rape now, I mean, hey, this is what Angela said. Now, don't come for me. I'm telling you what Angela said. She's like, if you can't kill the rapist, then why would you kill the innocent child that had nothing to do with your rape? I know, that's just the only thing. Look, I ain't trying to start that now. I'm just telling you what she said. But I'm just saying, these things to think about, though, man. It's just, there's a lot more options out here. And we should be looking at life, like you said, the way God does. And he sees us as valuable, like you said. And we're treasure to God, So we need to look at each other as that a little bit more, I feel like. But we can go on and on, y'all. So I just say thank you so much to Ryshawn Cousar, being that bold one coming up here, what I'm saying? Having this conversation. I appreciate you. And
thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much again to Ryshawn Cousar for joining me for the conversation for tonight. And thank you, friends, for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And I hope that we gave you all something to think about. So, again, friends, I understand that this topic of abortion is touchy. I understand that, this decision shouldn't be taken lightly. And so there's plenty of organizations and help and options out there for you. So I hope and pray that you are encouraged to check some of those out, whether you are in the situation or before you get into the situation. understand that there are options out there, and just, pray and ask God to lead you and guide you. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.
This podcast has been brought to you in part by Inspirational Therapy Session Incorporated, inspiring teens since 2002.